The nonsense of nonsense. I told you he couldn't mind his, he just can't mind his own business. So, you should have mind your own business. But you don't do that, and that's the problem. So first things first, my name is Kenneth Bird. The fellow who we're talking about by the name of Crow is an individual who is very, very jealous of what we do. Products that we make, products that we design. He's always constantly bickering that his product is just as good as ours, but doesn't do any of the tests under our technology. None of them. So he decided to do a video that we did a demonstration on showing off the Black Nova next to a gray screen paint. Keep in mind, Crow, this is not your screen paint. This is an actual paint that we made downstairs. I said in the video, if you had listened, which you usually never do in videos that we do, you just run out and just go charging like a bull in a china shop, and you don't listen when we said that we weren't going to be testing your product anymore. We're just basically going to make our own gray paint, and we're going to use that in demonstrations. But you didn't listen to any of that. Now, the worst thing I could have done to you is take your product and match it against the paint we made for free downstairs in the basement. We didn't do that because we said it was unnecessary because, as I said before, it was a demonstration to explain exactly how the Black Nova against a gray paint. You missed the complete demonstration where we painted the 100-inch screen first, half of it with the gray paint, and the other half of it with the Black Nova, displayed the screen, then went back in, repainted over the entire screen, making it completely black, and displaying the white levels again, showing there was no disruption to the picture quality whatsoever. But the kind of person that you are, you will pick out key features and exploit them, because this is the only way that you can basically get any kind of gratification of trying to tear somebody's company down. But this is where you made your mistake. See that paint right there, that gray paint? That's not your product. For some reason, you've got this, I don't know, this glorified complex disorder where you feel that anybody who has a great paint, it's yours automatically. Sorry, my friend, but the world doesn't evolve around you. And I'm going to show you where you made a very serious mistake. Number one, that paint right there was made in our basement using gray paint and white paint combined. Now, this is where you made the biggest mistake. I'm going to put your product now against that gray screen and see how close it comes to it. Because, as was said before, I think you got some kind of amnesia or something, or a short-term memory. I think you completely forgot that you scammed your customers when you had a video that was floated around showing clearly, and we have it, showing clearly on how to take 2 or 3 tablespoons of black and mix it into white paint, which happened to match perfectly to a personal mix. Perfectly, which we did the demonstration. Can't got mad at us over it, but it's your video. And then the video having 27,000 hits on it, you removed the video altogether, which shows a sign of guilt. They can't find the video. And the reason why they can't find the video because you removed it, because you don't want anybody doing the exact same demonstration that we just did and finding out that your product is nothing more than black and white paint. Again, in the video, we explained crystal clear that we weren't going to test your product anymore. We're just going to make our own gray paint and use it from demonstrations from now on to do demonstrations for the Black Novas outside. You took that way out of proportion thinking, oh, they're talking about my product. All right, now you're going to find out how close your product comes to everyday paint, because we know this already because we tested your product. The problem is with your product is all your paints are all off by 1 tone, which means you're either adding more or less black paint. That's what you're doing. If you look at our products, none of them look anything like each other at all. So you can't say, hey, look, this one is similar to that one's similar to this one. They look nothing alike. But I'm going to show you. All right, but remember, you asked for this. Now, the sad thing about it is I had to take time out of my busy schedule to do this because I have orders I'm taking care of. And on top of that, we're showing off the new Silver 21 today, which will be outside, which I can't wait for that one. But like I said, if you want to basically challenge the 21s, you can start your demonstrations off outside because that's how the screens start off, outside first. All right, remember, you asked for it. Now, see, the problem we have here is the fact that what you don't understand is, you see all these sample sheets I have here? In these sample sheets I have here, I have gray, I have dark gray, we have all different sorts of screens. If you had any common sense, which I'm sorry to say that you don't, you would have understood that if our screens are being tested against all these different certified screens, what difference does it make about your gray screen paint? Have you tested your product against all of these screens we have in here? Have these tests been done properly, as in showing the blues and reds and greens, showing contrast levels, white levels? No. I've seen your demonstrations on the Darkstar 9. You stayed far away from color patterns and you blended in a bunch of mixed colors, high power projector, and a poorly lit environment. That's what you did in your demonstration. You didn't do anything by the book at all whatsoever. You do these camouflage demonstrations, and that's what we're going to start calling them, camouflage demonstrations, in order to fool your customers thinking that your product does what it's supposed to do. But, like I said, you could have kept your mouth shut, because that gray screen over there, mind you, we just made it from basic just gray paint and white paint. That's all we use. So let's see how close it comes to it. Now, the interesting thing is, and this is another part, like I said, that escapes you on so many levels. The first thing we do, anytime that we display a screen, depending on, it doesn't make a difference on what color the screen is. We've done against the Lux, you know darn well that the Lux screens look far more lighter than the Black Novas. We've done it against white sheets of paper. We've done it against certified white screens. We've done about just about every sample over there. And the first thing that we display are the white levels first. Nothing new, Skippy. When you showed that demonstration 16 hours ago saying, oh, look at the white levels of difference, that's what we display first, are the white levels. Because if you explained your videos with a little bit more tech behind it, instead of kind of a, I don't want to insult anybody by saying how he talks, but you know what I mean. It's kind of like a PBS special. You would have explained to your customers that a white level being too high is not a good thing. It has to be a certain blend. If that was the case, and the Black Novas produced an image that were too dark, well, you wouldn't be able to see the screen at all. If the white levels were too low, you wouldn't be able to see the natural fruits and different forms of animals and stuff like that we do, skin tones and stuff. You wouldn't be able to see any of that. Every screen, darker screen, is going to produce a much lower white level, whether it be a Black Diamond or a Darkstar 9. Even your UV mix can't even produce a solid white level next to a white screen. But for some reason, in your head, you got it that nobody knows this but you. It's just basic common sense. And this is where you should have kept your mouth shut. Because like I said before, we were trying to spare you and not drag you outside next to a Black Nova, which can do demonstrations outside, and your screen can't. You can't even match a Black Nova in your UV mix because it can't pull a contrast up next to a Black Nova. And the 21, well, yeah, that technology right there, it would destroy your screen on so many levels whatsoever. It's not even funny. And since you decided to open up that Pandora's box, we're in the process now of placing orders for all your products to go against the new black technology outside, because that's where they're tested. Well, short-lived for your product. You should have kept your mouth shut. All right, let's get the fire stick to kick in, because I got to get this done and over with. I have to be downstairs. I got to finish off orders. And like I said, we got the new super version, which is going to do the day, which I can't wait. I'm always excited about the surface springs. Let's get this over here. See what we got to do to get this fired up. Oh, and by the way, while we're on this topic, I'm going to bring out my ultra light gray, and I'm going to blow your screen away, because that screen can pull contrast. Your screen can't. to show you the difference. Since you want to go on great paints, we do make an ultralight silver that's better than your product. It can pull a contrast level, yours can. All right, plug fire stick. There we go. Now, you see the contrast level on this? The contrast level for a fire stick is black. Your screen can't pick that up. But that's what it's supposed to be displaying right now. Neither can that gray screen paint mix that we made. Can't display that level. You asked for this. Your product blended into the screen paint we made downstairs for pretty much nothing. You want us to get a close-up look? Told you, you should mind your own business. This is where the term called putting your foot in your mouth. Hope that soul tastes tasty, because man, it's gonna be a little bit of a rough ride for you right now. See that right there? That paint that we made, and we didn't want to put your product against, because I sat there and said in the video, crystal clear, we're not going to put his product up against it because it would pretty much damage his product. But you don't listen to what we said in the demonstration. We were trying to help you. Trying to help you. And you just don't listen. You're so arrogant, so ignorant. I'm sorry, but that's what you are. I don't like to call anybody something like that term, but that's what you are. Do you see that? Where's your product at? You can see our product, Chris. Do you see our image right here on the Black Nova? See how clean that looks? Look at the contrast levels. You just blended into a product that cost us, I think that's over scraps around the shop downstairs. I'd say altogether probably about 13, 14 bucks. Dang, try to cut somebody a break and they still end up cutting off their head. That's a shame. Still ends up cutting off their heads. Just that, don't listen, don't learn. You remind me, you remind me of Crow. You remind me of Pharaoh. That's what you remind me of in the Bible. You know what Pharaoh was in the Bible? He's the guy who wouldn't let the children of Israel go. God had to hit him with all kinds of famine. He just refused to let the children in Israel go. He would not let Noah's people go. And in the end, he got destroyed, got crushed by a wave of water, killed him and his army, gone. You see the difference between the red levels on the black screen? You want to challenge a Black Nova, you're going to keep getting trashed over and over and over again. There you go. Black Novas may not be, they're not going to produce a white level as high as the gray screen. The screen is black. That's just basic common sense. Anywhere you go, it's no big secret, Skippy. It's no big secret that a black screen's white levels are going to be lower. Any dark screen, it's a dark gray or whatever, white levels are going to be lower. But the contrast levels are going to enhance. Do you understand that? Don't want to be rude here, but you're pushing me to the point where I might have to bring out some sock puppets and a chalkboard because you're not getting this through your head. This is how it works when it comes to color balance. Now, if the black technology was so dark, you wouldn't be able to see it, which means it has to have some form of white level in it in order to be able to pick up those certain colors. There you go. Now I'm going to find my remote control. Sorry, people. If it sounds like I'm belittling and insulting this person, but this person just literally has no common sense whatsoever when he does his video demonstrations. And he does more damage to himself than good. Thanks for the review. Yeah, look at the product right there. You want a second look at it? And then look at your product against a paint we made in the basement that cost us pretty much nothing. And keep in mind, so you understand this crystal clear, that the Nebula 21, that black technology is darker than the Black Novas. All right, so you can get our remote controls here set up. There we go. You know, the YouTube logo is actually black. It's not white, it's black. So let's start off first, which I always do in all my demonstrations, whether we're testing all those certified screens over there, which will have about 13 to 18 laying against our screen. First thing I do is I say, let's display the white levels, which I do. Then after that, we do the colors, which I do. Something you don't do in your demonstrations. I find it interesting that you're constantly ridiculing our work when you don't do any demonstration tests at all. None. All right. White screen, as we always do.
Getting that from YouTube.
There's the white screen right there. Red screen.
Audible lets you.
She does it every time. Blue screen.
Getting that from YouTube.
You see the difference in blue? That's blue. I know you wear glasses. I'm pretty sure you're not colorblind. So you know what that is. That's blue. That's not blue. And that's not blue. You know something interesting? The paint that we made downstairs is pulling a better blue than your screen paint right now. Better shade. What's this one? This is the Crow's Metallica Mix 2.0. Let's go get your other screen paint mix, which won't stay. We might put some more sticky tape on that one. May have to, I don't know. That right there is your personal mix. Right there. There's your personal mix. There we go. This is where you should mind your own business. So they all look the same. See, on our product, it's producing a deep purple, but your screen and your personal mix look the same. You know why? Only difference is one is off by a few shades of black. That's it. I told you how I knew how your product was made. Keep in mind, way back, Digital One Crystal Screen Paint, my first company, we made gray screen paint. Every product you're making over there, we did it already. We made it already. This was like 12 something years ago. Go back and look up that company. We made your product already. I know what's in your product. I know how it's made. I know because, to keep in mind, the tests that you do are the same tests that I did in that particular time. If you go back and look at my old screen paints, there's no way in the world it didn't have the demonstrations I'm doing right now. My screen paint would not have survived it. That's how I know your stuff. The tests we do now on taking projectors and dropping them back 22 feet, putting 130 watt lamps in the middle, opening up windows, direct sunlight, having a screen sitting outside at 1%, producing images. There's no way in the world the technology we developed at that particular era could ever go through that kind of punishment. No way in the world. So that's how I know when you do your demonstrations, I've already been there and done it already. I know the limits of your product. I know that if you add in a couple of shades of black, more black, that's how you're changing your colors, because everybody did that at that particular time. Even the YouTube paint was designed that way. It was made by multiple shades of black. You add in more shades of black if you want it darker, less if you want it lighter. That's why all your products look the same. There's no difference in them. That's why when you do demonstrations, you're in poorly lit environments. Same thing I did. Same thing I did when I was under Digital and Crystal Screen Paint. But at the era when I did it, at that time, majority of most screens were in the dark. We were the only ones displaying screens and somewhat ambient light, fully lit environments. That's what we're doing. I did all those demonstrations already. Go look it up. Look up under Digital One Crystal Screen Paint and look up demonstrations I was doing in that little tiny rented room. You will see how much ambient light I had in the environment. Now, at that particular time, that much ambient light was considered to be a big thing. Now, come on. I go back and look at those videos. I'm like, good God, why is my room so dark? But now, come on. Shit, it's a pass that everything you're doing right now. I've already did it already. I've already made it, already done it. Okay, let's go into shades.
We believe snacks should be more light, more nutritious, and delicious. Made with whole food ingredients.
Your product matches exactly to a gray paint that we made. I'm going to paint the entire screen with that gray paint behind me, which is basically an everyday primer. That's what it is. It's primer mixed with white paint. That's all it is. When you do your demonstrations, this is what you do. You go, well, you test your own products against your own products. That's what you do. I must have left that on top of the refrigerator. Or did we? Nope, right here. You test your own products against your own products. That's what you do. We test our products against certified screens. They have to be tested on that level. What's the point of me testing my stuff against my own stuff? That's just boring. You got to test your stuff against your own product. Black Novas can outperform your screen. Any technology we make in here, which we already proved that already when we took your sample sheets and we went over every last screen in this house. Every screen outperformed your screen, down from the signatures, down from the pink unicorn, the green screens, all of them outperformed your screen with no problem. The blue Epics did it with no problem. And definitely that Nova Gold. Come on. So how is my screen over here changing colors, which is black? And your screen is remaining the same tone. Also the same tone as the paint we used in the demonstration, which was just basically gray and white primer. You want to go and doing testing reviews. Now, you see what's interesting here? I already said multiple times in my video demonstrations, you will show an advancement over white. You know why? Because you're slightly darker than white. Any product that's slightly darker than white is definitely going to show a better contrast level. But the white screen is going to be to produce a better white level because it's white. That is its element. You follow me here, Skippy? All right. So, bottom line is, what's more disturbing is that the gray paint that we have on the side, which is the paint that we used in the demonstration because we didn't want to use your product anymore, trying to cut you a break, is matching your screens with no problem and showing the same results as your screens would show against a white screen. I'm telling you, try to spare some people, boy, I'm telling you. You really try to spare some people and they just don't see it, you know. Now, you know what's even, we're trying to find the road show. You know what's even more interesting than all of this? I tell you what's even more interesting. He will completely forget this lesson. And he will go out and do something even more dumber than he's just done a few minutes ago. Even more dumber. But that ship is already sailed for you because I told you if you did something dumb again, what we're going to do is buy all your products and put them against that Black Nova. Not Black Nova. You're going against the Nebula, the 21, outside. And everything under 21. And you've seen the reaction of that stuff. That stuff pulls up images outside with no problem whatsoever. So if that technology is pulling up an image outside, what do you think it does inside? And you can't match one of the demonstrations, not one. Let's go back over here. Let's pull up, see how close he comes. Let's pull up a Starfield demonstration.
When you start a business, you always dream of expanding. Luckily, my company...
See how much higher the white level is on the white screen compared to yours? That's basic common sense. As in, if you have a light gray screen going against a black screen, it's going to pull a higher white level. No rocket scientist, Skippy. This is just actual true facts. So the fact that you're displaying that by saying that, oh, you know, this is something new, and were you seriously? Oh my goodness. There you go. All right, now this is where we can show you that your product we'll move this here. Get this next to the white paint. There. Right here. It's a gray primer. Really not much of a difference. Now with the white screen, yeah, difference. But with the primer that we had, the stuff that we made downstairs, and your product next to itself, there's not much of a difference at all. They clearly look two. Only difference between one of the others. One is just basically just has more black paint than the other. That's all. See? There you go. See how the white screen on the other side is producing much a whiter image than your product? Because it's going to pull a higher white level because it's a white screen. Such like if you're going to do a demonstration saying, well, this is my product against his, and mine's going to pull a much higher white level, blah, 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 blah. It's a gray screen. And keep in mind, Skippy, so you can understand this, and we're calling them Skippy. These are the sample sheets that my screens had to test against. See all these light gray certified screens, certified white screens that my product has to be tested against every single day. Why in the world would I be bothered by your paint when I'm doing light certified screens against my black technology? And I'm showing the white levels first, where your product is blending into a mix that, well, we can call it a mix now because it's definitely not a formula, that we made downstairs in the basement to avoid doing demonstrations on your product because we were trying to show you some kind of leniency because we've already tested your product on everything in the house and you couldn't match any of the screens. I've done so many color pattern demonstrations, white level demonstrations, contrast demonstrations. It's not even funny against your product on everything in the house. So you can sit there, explain to your customers why your product is matching perfectly. Number one, both of them match perfectly. And number two, to a primer we have in the back. You can also, too, explain to your customers about the video link that we're going to post at the bottom of this video, of the video that you deleted from your account showing a tutorial on how to make your paint using black and white paint. Which in that video, all we did was just follow your instructions, make the product, and it matched perfectly to your personal mix. But if you look at your personal mix and your Metallica mix, they look exactly the same too. And again, if our technology was so dark, well, you wouldn't be able to see it. See, this is where you have to learn to shut your mouth. This is where you get embarrassed. See that? That's where you have to learn to shut your mouth and learn to behave. Now, I have a great deal of demonstrations that have to be done today. We have the new silver technology under the 21s that are going to be displayed today. I have pre-orders to set up for my customers under our new technology. If you want to compare yourself as being the same as our new technology, you can start your demonstrations outside because that's where that screen does its demonstrations. And if you want to take your product and put it against the 21s or anything, we did all the paints we have in here. We're pretty much done on that level. We can't do any more here. White screen.
Getting that from YouTube.
See? White screen is going to produce a higher white level because it's a white screen. Your screen paint can't even match the white screen. The same thing, like if my screen were to go against a gray screen is going to pull a higher white level. But my screen is still going to be to maintain a white level where the image is not going to become so dark that you can't see the screen. If that was the case, we wouldn't show you all those demonstrations we showed you before. But like I said, this is not going through his head right now. What's going through his head is meow, 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 meow. That's some serious. I'm sorry to joke with you like that, but seriously, that's what's going through your head. Because like my friends say, and my business partner said, if he carefully watched all the demonstrations or some of the demonstrations under your technology's testing, he would understand that the screen does produce a lower white level, which it describes on the website, but it's nothing where the screen is going to be impossible where you can't watch it. Just like if your screen is producing a lower white level than a white screen, it's not going to be so low that you can't even see it. But he doesn't understand how things work. But like I said, his screen's going to show a slighter, higher white level, and I send that in my demonstrations, but he can't see color and he can't see contrast, which you can't. Color blue. And look at the primer. Don't forget the cheap primer that we made. The cheap paint we made behind it. And the only thing you have is a difference is a white screen. But your products, they match perfectly. And with the primer we made at the bottom, our own product we made, yeah, that's without color coding. There's no color coding in that technology. No. That was just paint that we needed to do demonstrations off, that's all. All right, so let's get my projector blocked here. Need to get it blocked. This popcorn thing here. We learned nothing at all. Nothing at all. I got two 21s in the next room. Would you like to go against one of those screens? Because I can basically embarrass your technology if you want me to go down that level. I'm trying to basically show you a little mercy. And I was trying to show you some mercy by basically not putting your product up against it because there's nothing special about your product. There's nothing special about it at all, period. I'm sorry, but it's true. This gray screen It's called an ultralight. These are the ultralight ones. These are coated. The back of it has a 21 attached to it. I'm not even going to put you through that nightmare. Hopefully it doesn't fall over. Feels like a gust of wind will hit it, just fall right over. I always had the wrong remote control. Yeah, I always do. Starfield demonstration.
I found a few matches for that. Do you mean film?
I went to this yesterday. Cancel. Argument with the machine.
I have a few skills that
Nope.
can.
Cancel.
All right.
Good gracious. Star. Field screensaver.
I found a few matches for that.
She's going to have her moment.
4K.
Outer space screensavers.
I have a few skills that can.
You hear this?
Did you mean outer space?
So you know. Alexa. Outer space screensavers.
I have a few skills that can help.
This stuff freaking scares
Outer
me.
space, Alice.
And it really does. You can say it's up to a crystal, clear as day, and it still doesn't understand. Let me see what we need to do here. We should be bringing up with no problem. There you go, right there. Already in her category, she couldn't pull it up. Scares freaking crap out of me. No, we can't be showing all that. There we go.
It's starting to make you twitch. Good thing this coffee is always.
Now feel free to do your little review against that. Feel free to go in and basically show your little demonstrations on, oh, his screen doesn't pull this and pull that, because this is my great technology. And my great technology will beat the britches off your screen with no problem. My screen can pull a contrast level. And that's a gray screen, a very light gray screen at that. The projector behind me has a 22,000 to 1 contrast. At least I'm utilizing some of it, because like I said, to our other screens that we developed, they pull contrast levels like insane. This is a light gray. And this screen, mind you, in order to earn its label, was able to produce an image outside, something that your screen paint has never done. I've asked you multiple times on basically showing us a Starfield demonstration, anything on contrast whatsoever. You have showed me nothing, but yet you constantly want to come in and ridicule the black screens. Ridicule this. That black screen can produce colors on a level that your screen couldn't begin. That's why you're sitting in the dark in your demonstration. That's why you're telling your customers to calibrate their projectors. And at the end of the day, your product is no more than nothing but black and white paint. If I'm wrong on this, then feel free to take that same mix of that video that you removed off of YouTube, make that same mix and put it against your screen paint products right now and show us all if there's a difference, because there isn't. See, I can take my gray screen and show there's a difference between other gray screens, even against your stuff. Color blue.
Getting that from YouTube.
See? Screens can see blue. Your screens see a kind of a faded, kind of a grayish kind of, I don't know what that is, to tell you the truth.
The pan is awesome.
Ugh, man. I'm not trying to be rude here, Crow, but you bore me. You really do. We've done these demonstrations too many times to count. And you'll forget this, and you'll do something stupid tomorrow. But I'm going to level all your products in one hit. I told you, kept running your mouth, I'm going to stick you against that Sun Killer technology. And that Sun Killer is not a paint, it's an actual gain. You're going outside at 12 o'clock against that technology. We're going to put an order in for the rest of your products. And then we're going to go out and make our own great paints. Matter of fact, I'm going to make the original Digital One Crystal Screen Paint. I'm going to make the original and put you against that. And I guarantee it'll match. I guarantee it'll match. Because like I said, I made your products already. This stuff right here, I was making this way back. Way back, we're making this stuff. You know why I don't make it anymore? Because ever since that Black Diamond sample sheet came into my room and I saw how that screen popped, those darker levels, that's why I haven't gone back to a gray screen since then. There's no point. Not after what I saw. No point at all. No point. New York City, nighttime, screensaver.
Getting that from YouTube.
If you're going to develop a light gray screen, you have to show a difference. You can't show a difference in your light gray products. I can show you that off my own technology. Look at this. We're going to go to a dark gray screensaver. Look at this. Can't even pull the contrast level. Look how dark that screen's coming up. That's called color coding technology. That means that screen has a code in it, embedded in it, allows to be able to read a contrast level, colors, the whole 9 yards, everything. When your screen can't even pick it up because it's just everyday paint. I don't need to buy your product. I can make your product. Because I used to make it back in the day on a Digital One Crystal Screen Paint. I used to make this stuff. That's how I know how your product's going to react. That's how I know about your dark demonstrations, because I used to do the same dark demonstrations, but at that particular time, those demonstrations were considered to be well lit. I don't even like going back looking at my old stuff anymore. I'm like, good gracious. But I had to start from somewhere. Look at that. Oh, but it's gotta be a trick. No, it ain't a trick. It's no smoke and mirrors, none of that dumb nonsense that you keep preaching. It's none of that. It's just basically hard work. That's what it is. Hard work and faith. That's what it is, buddy. You can't do any of that. You can't have faith because you're too busy tearing other people's stuff down, trying to tear their stuff down. You don't learn anything. I give you fair warning to mind your own business, because the outcome of it is going to be brutal for you. And you don't listen. And you really thought 16 hours ago doing that demonstration was going to basically tell me, oh, your review did be just, no, buddy, that review could have went really bad for you, because I said in the video, the product that we just made looks a lot like your product. It does. And if I were to throw your screen up against there's going to be a good chance that that product is either going to blend in or it's going to come really close to your screen, which shows that bottom line is, in mind, this is made with just gray and white paint, not black paint at all. That it was going to cause some significant damage. And sure enough, you went running in like a bull in a china shop. No caution whatsoever. There you go. That's what you get. You bought it on yourself. You bought it on yourself. Y'all can hate on this all you want, but you bought it on yourself. And where you think you're going to keep trying to compete with my technology, you can't. You want to get a close-up look? That's the black level on our light gray screen paints. And that's the black level on your product. You know why there's no difference? I'm going to give you, and this is going to hurt when I say this, but you're going to have to take this. Because there's nothing special about your product. All it is just black and white paint. That's all it is. The reason why our technology is showing a heavier contrast level and it's a light gray screen, because it has a color code embedded in it. It's called hard work and faith. That's what it is. Interesting how that fell off right around that time I got it close on the screen. All right, buddy boy. I hope you learned your lesson, which you probably haven't. I got something for you. How about you start doing all your demonstrations on your product, matching the new technology we have now, and matching every last one of our demonstrations. That is now your challenge. Your challenge is to match every single test demonstration under the 21. And one of the first test demonstrations was that screen had to produce a star field demonstration and was one of the lighter gray, not lighter gray, but kind of a, I can't explain that color, it's weird. But anyway, it was one of the lighter screens we designed. Was able to pull a star field demonstration outside on a 190-degree viewing angle and walk around that screen at around 536. So let's see your product did the exact same thing. You'll have to match every demonstration, every test demonstration, and they all have to be done live. How much you want to bet he doesn't do it? If he can't basically back up our tests or do the demonstrations that we do, then what's the point of you trying to compare yourself to us? All right, well, like I said, when we first did that demonstration, I already warned you from the door. I told you that, look, man, I can take your product, that paint we have here that we just made looks a heck of a lot like your product. And didn't want to do that. Didn't want to put your product. The paint was made so we didn't have to test against your product. That's what it was made for. It was made not so to test against your product, to give your product a break, because when you did that fake review, I took your product and I tested against everything in the house and you lost miserably. You couldn't pass any of the tests against any of the products. You couldn't pass color or contrast or whatever. You couldn't pass it. Took you outside against a Black Nova, you couldn't even get next to that screen. The Black Nova even took out your UV mix and contrast levels and blended your screen when it came to color. So, I tried to avoid that by saying that, okay, look, we're not going to do any more testing against this product. We're just going to go to Home Depot or Lowe's. We'll pick up some gray primer, whatever, make our own products, and we'll just use that from now on doing side-by-side demonstrations on gray screens or white screens against the Black Nova outside. But you felt the need to come in and just pinpoint, look how dark his levels are coming up, so and so and so. And you pretty much did it to yourself. So I had to come on here and show you, look, buddy, we tried not to put your product against a gray screen paint that we made for next to nothing, and your product came out really close to it. Anything at certain points, that paint kind of outmatched your product. And then came back out and showed you the light gray screen paint that we make for our customers, and we were able to produce a contrast level that your screen couldn't even touch. Yeah, it's best to mind your own business. Lick your wounds, mind your own business. That's it. Right now, for us to have, I'm going to tell you right now, so y'all know. For us to have the 21, the new technology we're messing around with now, this burns him up. It makes him furious. He's angry, upset, jealousy. I wouldn't be surprised if one day he came on and he had the same complexion as the Incredible Hulk. He is extremely upset that our product works so well. Who are you angry with more, me or God? At the end of the day, as I said before, Christians aren't made to be walked over. We're not. If you crack your Bible and you read through it, you see exactly what God did to people who messed with his servants. Learn to mind your own business. At the end of the day, like I said, anything you bring over here, and if you do this again, and I guarantee you, I'll start making my Digital One Crystal screen paint again, and I'll show you how close my product comes to matching yours, because we already made your product years ago. Years ago, we made your product. So you got another option here. Mind your business, or I'll start making a product to match your product, which is our own product under Digital One Crystal Screen Paint, which I still have in old booklets upstairs. Oh, my goodness. My. That's the whatchamacallit. My. Never learns. Can't learn. So full of hatred and all angry all the time. Blah, blah, blah. Mind your business. I gotta get back to work. I got a new screen paint to test off. I got customers to finish up. Where does the screen go? It's black number, right? Yeah. Ugh. Oh yeah. Heard that pop? I was like, oh no. You don't want that thing coming down. That's a Black Nova. No, not Black Nova, sorry. That's the, so you're saying Black Nova. That's the Nublint. That's the 21. There's the 21 right there, Black 21. Oh, and if you watch the demonstration on that screen being painted in, they're darker than 17s. They're way darker than 17s. Can we get it over all the way over? There we go. There you go, Skippy. Since you were talking trash about a Nova, that screen right there is actually darker than a Nova. Now again, I'm going to try to spare you again, because I guarantee you when we get done with the silver, you want to talk about light screens made to produce high white levels? Man. Yeah. There we go. I'm going to leave alone. Yeah. You don't want to go against that nightmare. If you want to talk about white levels and technology, what that thing is designed to do, when we get done with it today, you may want to mind your business on that one. But he won't. This is what he does. Here's what he does. Where is my remote control? And unlike your products, Crow, you see all these sample sheets we have here? Look at all these sample sheets. All these sample sheets we have here? Every last one of our screens have been tested against all these certified screens. All of them. Even tested, we got ultra short throws in here. The test against ultra short throw projectors too. You don't do any of those tests. Name one real test you've done on your product. Oh, dark environment, smoke and mirrors. You don't do any of that stuff. Let me see. We need that's done, so we get that set up. We got a demonstration doing that one today. Still got to be outside for the other one. All right, so today we have to get outside. That screen has to be outside today. We already got the demonstration we did on the Platinum Slate, as we're going to call the other technology, that dark gray screen. That screen was really dark, like it's black, and that thing matched up, looks like a black screen. Oh my goodness. Yeah, on Facebook, I'll put those links, not in this video, but the next video, I'll put the links on Facebook. Yeah, we got a lot of wows and oohs on that one. Yeah, it was outside a little earlier, playing around with that screen, and that screen came up incredible. You know what these things are going to be like outside? Oh my goodness, man, I'm telling you. That's what I love about the 21s, man. Just having that ability to be able to fire that screen up that early and then to pull out those contrast demonstrations. And man, I love it.
Every creator starts from zero.
Let's go over to some 4K animals.
Getting that from YouTube.
And I gotta be at work in about a couple minutes. Gotta finish the rest of my work. Yeah, you see that technology right there? Those are darker. That black screen is darker than a 17. This is slow mos. Yeah, this is slow mos. Yep. And this is no P2. This is a 600 or 800 by 600 720p projector SVGA. Let me show you something, Crow, how we do it. See my screen? See that light I have in the environment? See how far my projector sits back? My projector sits back 15 feet. 15 feet, fully lit environment. Notice no dark spots anywhere. Look at that. If I fired that screen right there, you couldn't compete with that. See how well lit the area looks? See that deep contrast level? How we can produce that jet black and that white image, how the colors of flowers pop out, they stand out? We don't need a $4,000 projector to produce a beautiful image. Doesn't have to sit up on top of the screen to get a beautiful image. In fact, the Signature 17s were able to take a 1000 lumen projector, same thing, SVGA, 800 by 600, and set it on a ledge outside a window while it was actually being draped in sunlight, and still push through, hit the environment fully lit, and still make contact with a 130-inch lamp and still produce an image. Something that you have never done in any of your demonstrations. But my stuff is the same. Yeah, what planet?
Want to go on an unforgettable
What planet?
Just try a bite.
Stop embarrassing yourself, man. You know, if you spent more time, stop trying to slander everybody else's stuff and concentrate and did your stuff the correct way, you would have something. You really would. But you can't have anything. Too busy trying to slander other people's work. Not only just my work, anybody. Any projection screen product that you bring in there from any company, you never do those demonstrations correctly. You're always doing some kind of freaking foul nonsense. And like I said, I saw that demonstration against the Dark Star 9. There is no way in the world that your screen paint ever beat that screen. No way in the world. Did that in a dim environment, poorly lit environment, and then you used a bunch of camouflage colors. You didn't go near any contrast levels because that screen would have definitely outproduced in contrast. Didn't do any solid colors because you know it would have actually been to produce darker and more richer colors. You didn't do any of that whatsoever. Put on some freaking camouflage colors in a dark environment, just look, we're just exactly the same. Ooh, that is one creepy looking spider. Can you imagine lifting up your bed and seeing that? Oh man, I wouldn't even bother. I just burn the house down. I literally would. I wouldn't even bother basically taking anything with me in fear that there might be something inside of something when I bring it to something. Yeah. Woo! Yeah, I just burned the house down. That'd be it. Creatures that gave me the willies. Yep. And again, when your customers look at your demonstrations, half of them, if they're paying $75 a quart for your product, and you're displaying your well, I can't say technology, paint. You're displaying your paint, using a $4,000 or $3,000 projector. How does that even work, to tell you the truth? Because you need that high-powered projector to make that screen paint look good. The projector does all the work. You see in our demonstration, you see this projector I have over here? This is a $150 projector that I purchased. If my customers were to go out and buy this projector right now, it would cost them, if they wanted a brand new on Amazon, it would cost them $300. $300 compared to your projector costing what, $4 grand at the most? It's long throw, which means it has from 15 feet, it has to throw an image through all this light and make contact with the screen. Same thing when it sits back at 13 feet and we do the demonstrations and it travels outside with no windows, no doors, nothing protecting the screen, and still can produce an image. Something your product can't do. But they can relate to that. They can go on eBay and get that projector for $250 in the box. If the guy still has them. They can relate to this projector right there. And I love how you keep saying, oh, but 720p's are outdated. Well, if they're so outdated, why are companies still making them? You don't think before you speak. This is a 720p right here. Your projector does all the work on your screen. But these are the so-called black screens. They're supposed to be so dark, you can't even see them. And yet this one is darker than the Nova. Oh. Now, I'm going to save you the embarrassment by taking your product and sticking against this screen, because the outcome of it is going to be very nasty. Or taking you outside and sticking you against this screen, because the outcome is going to be extremely nasty. Or putting you against the silver technology we'll be developing today, or the two other screens we have sitting there right now that have 21 technology embedded on top of it, and to save you the embarrassment. Good. Right. By the way, at the end of the day, your reviews don't mean anything at all, period. If you learned anything from the 12, you've done so much slandering against the 12 continue to sell like crazy. Your reviews don't mean jack. Number reason why they don't mean jack, because you don't even test your product on the level it's supposed to be tested. So who's going to take you seriously? Yeah, there you go. Look at that. Don't put the time in, you don't put the work in, and you do the fake demonstrations. There's my screen right there. There's my projector. At the end of the day, people, I gotta go because I got things to take care of. But at the end of the day, this is what it comes down to. He's jealous. Jealous, angry, and upset. And I'm going to tell you something, buddy. It shows. It shows. It shows. It does. Every customer or people I do business with, they mention your name. It's not good. Things they say about you is not good. It just clearly shows that you're just a jealous, angry individual who has nothing better to do. And even when we try to show you some leniency, some mercy, you still keep coming at us, which doesn't make it doesn't hurt my company at all. You're talking about the view we did, bottom line hurt us? No, it was basically, we didn't put your product up there because we knew what was going to happen. It didn't go well. All right, so look, I'm done here. I love the screen so much, you have no idea. Oh, real quick. Okay, so we're going to keep the Black Novas, one of them. We're going to keep 1/4 of that onto the website, because I still have customers who are asking about, they want to still keep the Black Nova. So 1/4 of the Black Nova is going to be left on the website, because keep in mind, we're changing some of our technology over. I am going to keep the magenta. That magenta, oh, the magenta is gorgeous. It's gorgeous. Like I said, I got 135 of it upstairs. I'm not painting over that screen. That screen is absolutely gorgeous. So we want to keep 1/4 of that of the exotic on the website. The ultralights, that gray, the screen you just saw, I just brought out here that produced the contrast levels and all that. That's definitely gonna stay on the site because that's like a really good screen paint for my customers that don't want to spend a lot of money. You know, it's very reasonable. You know, on top of that, the black gold, it's definitely gonna be staying on there. The black gold Novas, we're gonna keep those on there. And then after that, we just needed to make some room for the 21s. Now, one of the things we are going to do with the 21s, we're going to put in a free color option because I really don't feel like pricing the screen differently because of the color and everything. We're trying to do more of our products this way. That way you don't have to pay extra because the screens may be darker. Like some companies out there will say, okay, look, if the screen's gray, but if it's darker gray, we got to charge you more. But if it's even darker than that, we got to charge you even more. We're trying to get it to the point where you can come in and select the color you want. You're just paying for the size of the paint that you need. So that's what we're doing with this particular product, the 21s. It's going to be 3 shopping carts, a gallon, 2 quarts, and 1 quart. When you select which one you want, a color option will come up and ask you what color you want, and we'll design it from there. So we're going to make the color options free. We're going to have a gunmetal soon. I like that. I want a gunmetal screen. We're going to do a gunmetal screen too. So there'll be about 5 of them in there. Like I said, with this option, you can spray it on, you can roll it on, it's up to you. And as you can see by the performance of how it does outside, well, you already know where you're going at with that one. And I know in the back of his mind, he wants to think that, oh, but they're not making the Black Novas anymore. The Black Novas are on contract, which means you're using Black Novas for drive-in movie theaters. You know, they're re-rectoring these movie theaters now for outdoors because of COVID. That's what Black Nova is being utilized at. And that stuff is selling by 5 gallons to 20-gallon containers. And we just developed that technology. That's why we're going to keep a quart of it onto the website for customers who may want to lean toward the Black Nova. They want to get that. This one is going to be a little bit more pricier, just to let you know. But like I said, when we get done doing the demonstrations, and this is why we have to do the test, this is why we have to do the test against the certified screens to show the screens weight in gold. All right, let me get out of here because I got much to do. I got to finish orders for my customers right now, and we got to get the silver. The silver's already done. It's downstairs for the 21. Oh, that stuff looks amazing. I cannot wait to get that thing painted out. All right, so let me get that out of here. As for Crow, mind your own business. That's basically about it. All right, everybody else, have a good one. God bless.